Just a little dairy coughing before I say the AFC West Future and Lady Cup Bombs edition of Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our Patreon. Score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app to get last-minute tickets at lowest price guaranteed. Use promo code SGPN for $20 off. Now we do this. Welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the man in the box. Yes, sir. All right, so we got to start the stopwatch. It is Wednesday, August 16th, and we're here at 12:30 Pacific. In between our two normal times. Our normal time at noon, bet used to be, now we got pushed to 1 for the 2 days August. Now we're in the middle, 12:30. Not that anyone cares. I know you want to keep a steady pattern, but, the August, the preseason, a lot of previews. So, a lot of people are getting shuffled around. And I'm going on a few college games with picks Dundee. But right now it's me, CJ Sullivan, the man in the box, as we do, dropping the Bottom Line box. We got a big show for you today. It is the AFC West Future Bomb Preview. If you look at the thumbnail, this was my easiest thumbnail because I just had to put my face on Andy Reid, and it's the exact same face. Me and Andy Reid are very similar. Anyway, we're also going to do some Lady Cup bombs. The World Cup finals are set. There's another golf tournament this weekend with the playoffs. It gets shrunken down. The BMW Open. And, of course, a man in a box segment. So let's get it. Let's see what happened. Let's do a recap. I want to try to keep the show moving quickly, efficiently. Last show was like over an hour 10 because I couldn't stop. But what was I gonna say? I was just telling Cream Dog here before I got on there. I don't want to talk about. I don't like talking about YouTube commenters and just online trolls and shit like that. But I will say, I knew it was going to happen as soon as I posted this video this morning. My Man in the Box videos, which I posted one this morning about from last episode about that country themed not punk song, protest song. Rich guys north of Richmond that the internet's going fucking crazy for. And I knew as I posted it, it's gonna get comments nonstop that are bad. Comments are rarely good online. I was never a fan of just like disabling comments. I'm like, you coward. But then I realized, why wouldn't I? Comments are never, ever good. And it's just there to make you feel terrible. So I get it when people disable, but I always kept it up because why not? Whatever. Sometimes because it's funny too. Because I don't take it seriously. Because first of all, they're the worst people on earth. You're commenters on the internet, not YouTube commenters live. Not my fans. Not my degenerates, of course. I'm not talking about people who go to videos just to say negative shit and just rip on it. They're fucking worse. But anyway. This one was even especially great because it's like, nice TikTok. Was dog shit review, man. That's why that's why your channel doesn't have any traction, which is hilarious in two ways. One, do you think I'm doing a review of a 3-minute song? Like I'm Roger Ebert on a 3-minute song. Here's my review of a song, so I saved you the time if you don't want to listen to it. Oh, man. And then any traction, TikTok. Everyone's in the fucking biz with TikTok. That's where your channel doesn't get any traction. Like that woman who sings in the bathroom, lip syncs rap songs in the bathroom. She's got traction. She does. I don't get the traction that moms who can edit get. Anyway, so let's start off the show. Anyway, that video's up there. It just happened this morning. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. I'll gather in 20 more comments that'll just fucking rip on me. It's just, and then they repeat what you say, and like they don't think it's obviously the internet doesn't get a joke, but holy shit, it's just so fucking bizarre. We love that fucking song. We know. Why is everything so tribal? Okay, anyway. All right, let's see what happened in sport. Last night was a new episode of Hard Knocks. That happened. I wanted to get that sprinkler. I gotta get my fucking sound box. My sound box.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
I gotta get my sound box. You know, get my tablet going. Episode 2 is Hard Knocks. They got away from Aaron Rodgers a little bit, thank God. The Jets and the hype, but that hype train keeps going. That's why I gave out Quinnen Williams at 25-1 of Defensive Player of the Year before last night's episode, because once they featured him, which they did last night, forget about it. Now he's going to go off at even money because that's what Hard Knocks does. Everyone looks like the greatest player of all time on Hard Knocks. And he's good. I like him, but yeah, I had 11 sacks in a preseason game. Okay, relax. But he's great. Good for him. It was a weird episode. It started off with like an 8-minute magic show. What the hell was going on there? I always love when they bring in entertainment for the team and they bring in magicians. That old trope. He was a magician. He was a mentalist. And he did things like think of a number and he'll know the number. And people go crazy. That's that old Aziz Ansari bit about how black people react to magic, and I love it. It's fun to watch. It's pure joy and wonderment. They do cartwheels. They go crazy. But it's perfect combination. Then you have football coaches, those meathead coaches who sit there, and they're the ultimate in pessimistic dad vibes. Like they just don't. They're just cynical, and they're not believing any of these magicians. Of course, they don't get it. And I've always broken down magicians, not broken down magicians, but they hate when you try to guess how you did it. I always say, I know how you did that trick. You grew up alone. You had no friends. Right? Am I right? Am I close? A lot of training in your room, not talking to anybody. How that works? It's a great trick. I'm not saying it's not a great trick. It's an obvious skill that you learned, but you're not a mentalist. You don't know what's on people's brains. If you did, you would run the world. Go play poker then. If you know what's on everyone's fucking minds and you know what numbers are holding, go become a billionaire. But like I said, they're very skilled. I'm not saying magicians aren't skilled. It's just weird. They do they do their bits. That's what I hate about magicians. They do their tricks, find a great trick, but then you have to suffer through their comedy routine as you look to pick a card. You know what's funny though? It was a weird subgenre of magic. You had the mentalist out there who's doing his things, and then he took a dig at magicians. You see that when he's like, all right, pick. He's like, I'm gonna pulls out a deck of cards, and he's like to Aaron Rodgers. He's like, I don't do card tricks. Card tricks are boring. I'm a mentalist. And then he went and proceeded to go do a card trick. Okay. It's still magic, asshole. You're all still part of the same nerd group, nerd. The mentalist magic. But I love that dig and magician. That's boring. What I do is mentalists like to say they're not magicians. It's a different power. It's all subgenres of magic. Put your magic to good use. Or at least evil. If you're going to be a mentalist, be an evil mentalist. Try to take over the world until like a Superman beats you or something like that. I like pickpocket magic. They should have had that. Guy just pickpocket all the fucking. You ever see those? It's kind of fun. They bring a guy up and he'll take everything. He'll take their tie off you. He'll take their belt off you. It's pretty amazing. Google pickpocket magicians. There's only a couple of them, but they're fucking great. Apollo something, whatever is the main guy. He's like the king of it. Anyway, we'll get to that. I'll talk about that shit later. Well, maybe or maybe not. Then there's the quarterback. They of course, they did have to do a little bit of Aaron Rodgers on the Hard Knocks episode. And I always say, like, and you could see it boiling a little bit last night. It's got to be very awkward of Zach Wilson being there, because they keep talking about how great it is to have Aaron Rodgers because of how bad it was last year. Like, oh my God, was last year terrible? Oh, wasn't it, Zach Wilson? You were there. Oh, that's right. You were the reason why it was terrible. You're the reason why we have Aaron Rodgers here. Thank God you were so bad that we had no problem getting past you, even though we're still here, that no one even wants to trade for you. But Aaron Rodgers here. And they worship Aaron Rodgers so much, like these fucking teenage girls. They're all Swifties, but for Rodgers. They had a quarterbacks meeting. And the meeting was just like, let's play a game. Let's see how good Aaron Rodgers' play fake is. Okay, who thinks this is a run? Raise your hand, Zach. Zach, where are you going? Zach, come back here. Come back in the room, Zach. We're playing the Rodgers play fake game. And he's just like, yeah, this is a dog shit fake. Ken Barnard, welcome to the thread. Yeah, you already got a homework assignment. 10 minutes in, we're already Googling pickpocket magicians. Listen, I had to stop myself. I can go off on pickpocket magicians for a while. I enjoy it. It's a hell of an art. But yeah, they made Zach Wilson, and then they're all like, yes, okay, that one's a pass. That one's a run. Okay, yeah, I was wrong. And the coach is like, oh, man, even quarterbacks can't tell. And Rodgers is there smiling, taking all this adulation, like, two-handed, huh? Short change, huh? Fuck off, Rodgers. This is making me like Zach Wilson, this show. I'll just say that. Anyway, that was episode 2. Then they showed a little thing at the old end credits. So you have the players who try to do bits on the during the week to try. They know they're going to get on camera, like the guy mispronouncing charcuterie, and then that was weird when they played Naked Gun at the end credits and they were teaching them about Naked Gun. And you forget, like, these guys are men, but they're like 25. Like, oh yeah, they're still fucking Gen Zs, weirdos. I do not know about Naked Gun though. I mean, I understand how you not know about Naked Gun if you're 20 years younger than me, but I'm glad the Jets took time out of their practice to show them the genius of Leslie Nielsen mic'd up in the bathroom doing a 40-second potty bit. Anyway, with that being said, Hard Knocks still amazing. Jets are even odds to win the Super Bowl after watching them. Draft every Jet. They're gonna go 17-0, no, without a doubt. Anyway, on today's episode, we will break down the AFC West. When I come back, I'll also give out some bombs for the Women's World Cup final and the golf that's happening this weekend, and of course, a man in the box about the Johnny Football documentary. But first, let me tell you about Game Time. It's a great app if you want to get tickets. You talk about getting tickets is always stressful. So it should not be. But Game Time, it's a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. Let's say you're like Ken Barnard, who lives out in Baltimore. He's just a schlub out there in the suburbs. He doesn't know when the hot thing is coming to town anymore. You're probably just like him. You fire up the Game Time app. You get your Oriole game and your Ravens. You don't know. Maybe you want to see who's a hot new Matt Rife coming to town. You want to take your girl to see Matt Rife. Watch him do crowd work. What a great night that would be. You spend $800. Anyway, you go to GameTime.co, not com.co. That's how you know they're legit. But you browse through the Game Time app and it can talk about all the upcoming events they got in there. They got flash deals, last minute tickets. It's an easy way to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. Images of seat views. There's no stress. And that's what I don't need. There's nothing worse than people go, can I get tickets for this? You're coming to town. Can I get tickets? Send them to Game Time app. Just get that. You snag the tickets without any stress. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. That's a lot. $20 off, especially if you're going to go see Taylor Swift or Bruce Springsteen. They're only going for $5,000 a pop, those seats. Although I just saw Bruce got sick, so he had to cancel a couple Philly shows. Maybe shave your. I heard Taylor Swift's concert took 3.5 hours too. Holy fuck, that's got to be annoying. And no shade on Taylor Swift, but I mean, holy God, 70,000 teenage girls screaming for 4 hours. Woo! Okay, terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code SGPN for $20 off. Download the Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And we are back on the bottom line, Bombs. Welcome, Captain Insano. It says Apollo Creed. He does work. He does work some magic. You're goddamn right. Google Apollo Creed. He works some magic. He says. Ken Barner jumps in about Matt Rife. Too famous to play Baltimore premier suburban comedy club. Yeah, you're probably right. He's fucking killing it. He's killing it. Who knew? Who knew that you had to be that hot comics could work? Hot male comics. That's usually a bad sign when you're a good-looking guy comic. But yeah, apparently they like it. I wouldn't know. Neither. Anyway, welcome back. Let's talk about this AFC West, huh? Let's get into it. We have 14 division. I was just going to break it out. 14 division. Kansas City Chiefs, Chargers are the top two. Then you got Denver and Vegas. Obviously. Let me break down where's my sheet? I wrote notes. Here we are. Okay. Kansas City's a heavy favorite, -165 to win the division. I hate playing negative numbers. And I broke it down to the South, where I said I'd rather play the Jacksonville Jaguars at this number to win a division than I would Kansas City. Now, I'm basically just a hater. I'm kind of down on Kansas City this year. I don't really have any legitimate reason other than it's kind of a letdown hangover year from a Super Bowl that I don't think they barely won. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're going to do the same thing. They've hosted the last 5 AFC Championship games, which is pretty Andy Reid-ish and pretty gross. The division got worse. It was supposed to be the best division of football last year. It was not. Chargers got better. They're plus 280. You can get them at plus 300, 3-1 to win division. Then comes Denver at 575, and then Vegas is 1250. People really think Vegas is going to be terrible. I don't know why people are so down on the Raiders. People think that roster is just terrible. Let's see who they lost. I mean, obviously they lost Derek Carr. We'll start from the bottom up. They lost Derek Carr. They also lost their backup Jarrett Stidham. Stidham went to Denver, which says a lot about what they actually think about Russell Wilson. But we'll get to that later. Let's talk about Vegas. But they added Jimmy Garoppolo, Brian Hoyer, Jacoby Myers, Philip Dorsett, Cam Sims, O.J. Howard, Austin Hopper. But they drafted Michael Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame, and Trey Tucker. So, yeah, they were bad last year, but they had quarterback problems. I think getting rid of Derek Carr is going to help. We all know. Here's the problem with the Vegas Raiders. Besides, I think they do have some talent in there. And they're over-under 6.5 wins, heavily juiced to the under. I'm kind of leaning over for them because everyone is down on them. They're a weird team because they're a public team, Vegas, but there's also, because it's in Vegas, they get a lot of sharp gamblers. So a lot of gamblers are saying under. That's what people go with. So they'll adjust the number to that. So I think you kind of can get some buyback with the over. The problem with Vegas, the Raiders, Vegas, they're like a social experiment. And they realize you can't keep drafting these young 20-year-olds and make them millionaires and let them live in Las Vegas. Then they're going to go to Topgolf, get hammered, and drive 90 miles an hour to the street and kill a woman. I think their last 5 first-round picks have all been thrown in jail and almost murdered people just because, how do you expect these? How would you live as a superstar millionaire when you're 22 in Las Vegas? I would live just like that. You can't do it. That's why the Garoppolo, it's going to be risky because, although they think Garoppolo's this huge partier just because he went out with a porn star. He made a huge move by taking an adult film star out to dinner. You don't take them out in public. You should have shame. No, you do that because if you do hide them, you get out in front of it. Ask Zion or even Gronk. Remember when Gronk had that porn star and she would like tweet out pictures of the jersey and shit like that? At least she was a little respectful. Zion's. Oh boy. Forget about it. She is destroying his life. So Garoppolo, he's smart about it. Let's take you to a respectful dinner. Let the press get your pictures of it, and then we'll be done with it. And she'll feel amazing. You'll treat the whores like queens like whores technique. Jimmy G knows what he's doing. Jimmy G's kind of a right-handed Matt Leinart, where he's not that great of a quarterback, but he's handsome. So everyone's just like, fuck it, let's get him a job. Look how handsome Jimmy G is. But he's not that bad of a quarterback. I don't know why the Niners hated him so much. The Niners hated Garoppolo. They openly told him, don't come back to us, but then they kept him. It was just, had him hanging around. And then he saved their fucking season. Anyway, so other than that, then they get their, I do like that running back though. Zaire White, the rookie running back. Jacobs is on the holdout. It's going to be some trouble for them for sure. How about Henry Ruggs getting 3 years sentence, 3 to 10 years, but he might get out in 3 years. He fucking killed a woman. He can play for the Raiders. I think his rookie contract. I think he's stolen his rookie contract. It's probably the best thing that ever happened to Henry Ruggs. Now you can get paid. you play a year, 2. You murder a woman. You go to jail for 3 years. Then your rookie contract expires, and now you can sign your second deal without getting the wear and tear of a football season. This was pretty smart, actually, of Henry Ruggs. Good work on his part. 3 fucking years? Holy shit. I mean, who's the sentence? Who's the judge in that? Goodell? Like he gave Kamara 3 games for almost murdering a guy himself in an elevator? Anyway, but Ruggs, yeah, hell, he might be a Raider in 3 years. That'd be amazing if he came out, signed a contract, and play. They said, like, okay, you make a mistake, and I get it, the DUI mistake. I don't want to pile on a guy, and it's a tragic story, obviously. But there's reports that he was like intentionally driving around like Grand Theft Auto looking for targets. That's how fucking crazy he is. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on off the radar. But that's my point. You can't have these teams in Vegas. That's what the problem is with having any professional teams in Vegas. Like, oh, they don't want the game. It's not the gambling. It's putting these athletes in Vegas with millions of dollars. What do you think's going to happen? It should be for all-star games only. You can't have a home team. I mean, yeah, the hockey team works because then no one knows what the hell's going on. But they want to play a baseball team. And the baseball team, I don't know. Who knows? It's too hot for baseball in there. The football team, it's weird because all they do is I've been in that stadium, the hockey puck, the black hockey puck. It's it's cool and all, but it's not the Raiders. The Raider guys are there. It's all like a costume. It's all a show. There's a Raider fan, the spikes and shit, but it's all like you feel like they're all getting paid. And then they bring in fans and they bring in whales from other towns, and it's it sucks. Anyway, I like them over 6.5. Let's do that bomb plus 120. I think you're buying low. I think they can get 7 wins. Why? Because look who else is in this division. Denver Broncos, 8.5. Now, here we go. Denver, I'm kind of mixed about. You have to, you have Russell Wilson, who was in the cult last year. I mean, he's in a cult. Not your standard, not the hot, like on sexy Netflix, like sex cults, in a robe and all that shit where they trick women. Now, he's the throwback, like 70s cults where you perform mass suicide, Something's there. You look at his eyeballs, something is wrong. He is looking beyond when he looks into the camera, like when he's like doing forcing these TikTok videos with his wife, his hot celebrity wife. It's just bizarre. Everything he says is bizarre. Like the let's ride, the whole thing, like that was not a human being doing interactions. So Sean Payton comes in as the coach. Everyone's excited for that. They kind of emptied the cupboard. I like a couple individual plays. This all depends if you think Russell Wilson's year last year was just because of Nathaniel Hackett, which is an easy way to blame it. I don't. If you saw Russell Wilson's first preseason game this year, he looks a little shook. He looks fucking, he just does not look the same. And that happens, obviously. I'm not saying he wasn't a good quarterback. He was always a good quarterback. He was never the best. He was just a gamer. And when a gamer's skills erode a little bit, it gets bad in a hurry. He's 10-1 to win comeback player of the year, Russell Wilson. That shows you how bad he was last year. That he's a respectable bet against. His only other competition to win comeback player of the year is a guy who literally died on the field. Damar Hamlin, who will win the comeback player of the year, by the way. So don't waste your money betting on anyone but Damar Hamlin. Can you imagine a writer not voting for Damar Hamlin? How much he'll get strung up in public? Yeah, no, I didn't like it. I think it was more Lamar Jackson. Anyway, but 10-1 is pretty low odds for comeback player of the year when you're going against Damar Hamlin. That's how horrible Russell Wilson was. That being said, I still think he can put up numbers on Sean Payton's offense. And Sean Payton, he likes to funnel through the receivers, like the Michael Thomas, where he's just one guy. Now, because of that, they have two guys, Jerry Jeudy and Cordell Sutton, who I think both have the value in both those guys. I don't want to play any Russell's numbers. I'm not even a fan of Russ, but even if Russ does falter, I don't think Payton will have any problems putting in Jarrett Stidham. And I like Jarrett Stidham. They didn't lose anyone. They only lost to Mike Boone and Chase Edmonds. Good riddance. They added Sam Perrine, Marquez Callaway, and Marvin Mims. They drafted him, who is a sleeper. But Sutton's over under 700.5 yards. That seems very low. Judy's more talented. I think his yards is like 900. I like that too. I got him to lead the receiving. Jerry Jeudy to lead the league in receiving yards at 40-1 is a pretty good odds. Let's do that. Bomb that. You can also put him at 50-1 offensive player of the year. That'd be pretty sick. That would take a lot. That would take Russell Wilson to really be good. So I don't know if I can do that. But even if Wilson is respectable, and even if he's not, Sutton and Jeudy, give me all those props of over 700.5 for Sutton, over 900.5 for Jeudy. Jeudy to lead the league in receiving yards, 40-1. Those are great. Those are great plays from in my mind. But to get to 8.5, to get to 9 wins, to make it a winning team, just because it's Sean Payton, who was hilarious, by the way, it came out. And obviously he had to calm everyone down. Said, don't worry, it wasn't Russell Wilson's fault. It was all that fucking guy Hackett, that dumb coach you had last year. Boy, was he dumb. And then they realized, oh, you really shouldn't be saying that about another coach you're playing in week 4. What? Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was just me with my Fox hat on. When I was an announcer last year for Fox. What? When did you say that for Fox? You never say anything fun, Fox. You never say anything controversial. You talk like you wanted to get a job, and now that you got a job, you're doing this. Anyway, we're going to go with Denver under 8.5. Bomb that. Only because I think they'll be exciting, and eventually they will get things going. They're going to have to get past Russell Wilson. It's a make or break year for Russ, obviously, and I don't think it's going to go well. Even if it goes well, his ceiling is not that high. He's more of the leader than the prolific passer. But now let's get to something fun. Let's get to these Chargers. These are the guys I want to get into. See, I wanted to fade Kansas City. It's tough. It's still tough, though, because they're so amazing. But we can do alt numbers. You can do alt wins. LA Chargers are at 9.5, and they're 3-1 in the win division. Over 9.5 is juiced to -135, obviously. They did not lose anyone. That's why I like these Chargers. They added Quentin Johnson in the draft as a rookie, TCU receiver, who should be stud. I'll add him to Keenan Allen, the Jimmy Smith of Keenan McCardles. Mike Williams, who I think is going close to bust territory. He'll have a breakout year. He's just weird. But the offense will be different this year with Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator. And apparently him and Brandon Staley, they're getting along perfectly. Staley, one of those weird boy genius defensive guys whose defenses aren't that great, but they have Bosa's. I mean, this Charger team is always, they always fall apart. And that's really the only criticism the Chargers have is that, oh, they're just mental midgets. They break down like they did in the playoff game when they blew a fucking 30-point first quarter lead to Jacksonville, whatever the hell it was. But now they come in with a new offense coordinator, and they have Justin Herbert, who I think is the greatest quarterback in the league. I love Justin Herbert. I called him up to see who showed up to his birthday party. He said everyone. I said, great, I'm drafting you in all my leagues. I drafted him all last year. He was about to fucking explode last year. But one, that offense holds him back. And two, he got hurt like week 2 in that Kansas City game. Then he played through his injury the whole year. And he was still amazing. That's why I'm pretty high on these Chargers. Get him healthy with Kellen Moore of offensive coordinator. First of all, we're bombing 9.5 over. Then you get an alt. I don't know if I like the alt total of 11.5, but who knows? The problem is the AFC's is so tough. But 3-1 to win that division. Why? They're always with. The problem is Kansas City always beats them, but it's always by some ridiculous, weird overtime. Last time was like a 99-yard pick six when Gerald Everett just quit. You know. I am going to give out Justin Herbert to win the MVP at 10-1. I like that. And 450 plus 4.5 to lead the league in passing yards. Why not? Here's a comment. Ken Barnard says Donald Parham, comeback player of the year, underdog. We love Donald Parham. He's a backup tight end of Gerald Everett. He's referring to an inside thing. Ken Barnard, by the way, shout out to him and the Little Mermaids, who are the reigning champions of our fantasy football league, having our draft this weekend in Las Vegas, downtown, the beautiful Golden Nugget. I'll have a report from that on Monday. Anyway, last year, was it last year? Maybe 2 years ago, we went to the Chiefs Chargers game here in Los Angeles, a beautiful SoFi Stadium, the greatest TV studio in the world. And we went heavy on Donald Parham over bets. His props to make one catch, whatever it was, 10.5 yards, first touchdown, last touchdown. You know, backup tight ends are always the fun prop bets to make because the totals are so low. They just basically got to make one catch. And if they do, it cashes big time. So we showed up like, 10 minutes late to the game because it's LA. Traffic, parking was only $4,000. And we're like, all right, here we go. We're excited. And we're like, where's Parham? We'll get him out there. He usually gets out there and blocks. Where is he? And then someone behind us told us, oh, you didn't hear? You weren't here for that. That's right. He died. He died in the first series of the game. What? Yeah. Stretcher came out, took him out. He's dead. He's a dead human being. Oh, that's a shame. He didn't die literally, but he had a horrible, terrifying injury where, both teams take a knee type of injury. And we were out $50. So let's get him a nice comeback player of the year. We always say, he does. If anyone could battle Damar Hamlin with a death injury, it's someone like Donald Parham. And that's how you win comeback player of the year. You come back from an injury, you come back from being awful, or you come back from death. Parham has got 2 out of 3 of those. But Damar Hamlin is going to win, like I said. Anyway, so we're going Charger. We're going Justin Herbert. I don't mind Quentin Johnson, but and with the Kellen Moore, I don't know if there's any other props. I just like all the Herbert products because they do spread the ball around. Austin Eckler, he's a weird dude. Eckler, I feel Eckler should wear Vans for his cleats. He's very Southern California. I don't even know if he's from Southern California, but he seems to me like he's some kind of surfer Southern California. But he should wear specialized Van cleats like the Phillies pitcher threw a no-hitter. He wear Vans. He's the only one athlete who wears Vans, which I didn't realize. Vans, of course, is the skateboarder shoes. out here in Southern California. People still gatekeep with that. Someone's like, "How's he wear Vans? You better not be a poser." Then I found out he's from Southern California. I'm like, that's cool. Oh, okay. You're a 50-year-old man gatekeeping sneakers. All right, fair enough. So let's move on to the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm high on the Chargers. I'm going to take them over 9.5 and 3-1 in the win division. Because you can't lay 165 to win Kansas, even though Kansas City probably will win. But Kansas City comes in fat and sassy from their Super Bowl win, their ridiculous Super Bowl win when they won on a fucking ice rink versus the Eagles. Good for Andy Reid and the Chiefs. And then you got Patrick Mahomes and his quarterback show. They're the Disney version of Hard Knocks. I went into that show like thinking, okay, I'm not going to hate on Brittany or like everyone else, but you can't not hate on her. She's so white girl annoying. You had to think like, what's my favorite food? She's like, spaghetti. It's like tacos. Oh, okay. They've only known each other since high school. Anyway, they lost Ronald Jones. Who cares? But the Chiefs added Richie James, Rashee Rice. They drafted, and they also lost Juju Smith-Schuster and Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman on the Jets. Juju went to New England, I believe. And so they added Rashee Rice. So they're going to have Sky Moore. They have Kennard Toney, who's the Percy Harvin of today's age. People keep drafting him because he's a stud athlete, but he's always hurt. He'll always have a bad foot injury. That being said, it's Travis Kelce. He's the number receiver. They didn't do anything to improve it. So you can try to guess which Chiefs receiver is going to be good. Take Travis Kelce over 1,100 yards. Sure, he's going to fade one year, but it's not going to be this year. Someone's trying to say how Mahomes is relatable. He's relatable, relatively speaking. Yeah, he's not Tom Brady, who's an alien or astronaut who fucking, fucks Giselle. We're used to, or Peyton, who was a fucking meathead royalty. Mahomes is relatable because of that weird voice, I guess, not faux hawk, but I don't know. He still makes $500 million in salary alone. But anyway, Andy Reid. I'm looking at that picture of me, that thumbnail. Oh, big red. And so minus 165, we're not going to play. Their over-under is 11.5 and a juiced heavy to the over. 12 wins is a lot for the Super Bowl champs. I mean, granted, they do it every year, but I want to easily take the under plus 115 under 11.5. And an even favorite, why not? If you really want to be a hater, go to their alt win total. 9.5 under that is plus 350. Bomb that. So that's the AFC West, basically. Not too much of deep analysis, but I got to keep the show moving because I'm already really, 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 really late. Sorry about that. Because I have to do the golf in the Ladies World Cup coming up and a man in a box. But any of your favorite AFC West plays, get them in there. So I kind of like Vegas because people are down on them, the Raiders. Not to do anything, not to do the damage, but I think I can see it going Chargers, Kansas City, Raiders, Broncos. Like Broncos dead last. Raiders is to be somewhat respectable and get to at least 7 or 8 wins. And I like those Chargers. To finally, I can see the Chargers doing like one of those weird 14-2 or 14-3 seasons, and then first round playoff loss, of course. But we don't need to care about the playoffs. The Chargers are only minus 140 to make the playoffs. That's happening. The Chargers are making the playoffs minus 140. I'll add that bomb in there. They're 11-1 to win the conference. Fuck that. Take Justin Herbert over 4,400 yards passing. 10-1 to win MVP with Kellen Moore. I gotta love it. Anyway, with that being said, let me tell you about the Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 first place prize. You get that with the Patreon only. Besides season-long contests, they also have weekly contests just for the Patreons. Plus a monthly SGP Stories podcast. Ooh, like Tales from the Bus. That was, let me get that part I'm coming off there. Like that Johnny Paycheck thing when he did all the cocaine in the world. Anyway, plus there's even a Discord channel just for the Patreons. Only you can prevent corporate gambling. Do your part and sign up today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. And we are back on the Bottom Line Bombs. Thank you for everyone watching on the YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the like button on the comments. Some more AFC West comments coming in. Brian Petrofsky joins the chat. He says over under on Garoppolo games played. I'm high on Garoppolo. I think Garoppolo, people love to shit on him. I don't know if you're late to the show, Petrofsky, but I think Garoppolo's a perfect Vegas quarterback. He knows how to handle strippers and porn stars in Vegas. I mean, they're like, he knows you take them out for a nice dinner. Let the paparazzi get a photo, get out in front of it, make them feel good. That way they won't fucking ruin your life later on when you try to hide it, like Zion. Garoppolo's a veteran at this. He's a perfect Las Vegas quarterback. I don't know. I don't think they're that much different than that. I think they will be being Denver. I still have Vegas in third place this year. You know, Chargers, Chiefs, Vegas, and Denver. But I like the Raiders. I like the Raiders over though, Powski. Hammer that over 6.5 wins. I think they get to 8. Like White, I like Jimmy G. Anyway, let's get into some Lady World Cup. If you're new to the Bottom Line Bombs, that's my bit. I play that song for no matter what the sport is, no matter what we're talking about, you know. Let's talk about some golf. Let's talk about the tragic fires in Maui. Let's talk some Lady World Cup. We have to get going. Oh, the hat. Yep. So I'm wearing a Missouri hat for Kansas City, Missouri, for the AFC West thing there. Someone noticed that. Terrible state. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Here we go. World Cup. We lost. Australia lost to England this morning. Thank God I didn't have to watch it, but they lost 3-1 to England. Our future is done. We had Australia to win it all, 10-1. I got to the Final Four, but they couldn't lady finish for the lady Final Four. We also lost the under in that Sweden-Spain game. Jesus, it was 0-0 with like 80th minute mark, and there was three lady goals in like 5 minutes. We had Sweden to advance too. Also a loss. Listen, I get the sport is different, and they play at a different level. But like sometimes, my God, that goal they let up that Spain scored to win it 2-1. It was like off a corner kick. All 11 Sweden's defenders were like packed by the goalie. And they just passed it to the girl. And she was wide open, just shot it in. Like, what the fuck? It's like a bouquet toss or something. All the girls are screaming towards the ball. Spread it out. Jesus God. What are they doing? And then Australia curled a wide open net and miss it, but that's soccer. You can't complain. Thank God it happened at 3 a.m. and I didn't have to see it. Oh man. But that's what happened. So now we have, but that does lead to a couple fun things. So it leads to the third place game, which my favorite thing in the World Cup and gambling is betting on the over in the third place game, no matter who it is. because both teams don't give a shit about defense. They play defense in soccer, especially World Cup. You play soccer. You play soccer. You play defense. You don't want to make a mistake the entire time. You don't want to give up that one goal. It's going to be, apocalyptic and tragic. And now, not too many sports do this, the consolation game anymore. NCAA March Madness used to do it. They don't do it anymore because it's just embarrassing. I think the NIT might do it. NIT does a consolation game. But they used to do it all the time. And it's fun because no one gives a it's great. So no one cares. So now you have Sweden and Australia. The over-under's 2. I don't know who's going to win. I don't care. I bet Australia's not a bad play, plus 160, because Sweden's very nice. And it's a home, the home field for the fans. Maybe give them a little gift. So, I'll sprinkle a little on Australia plus 160. Because they're going to care for their fans. They don't want to do it. You don't want to do a bad effort. Remember Brazil did that one time. Brazil played Germany in the Men's World Cup, and they lost like 9-1 because they didn't give a fuck. It was like in front of their fans too, because they really disappointed them. Australian fans with the women's soccer like, you disappointed, but you weren't expected to win anyway. Brazil's expected to win, but we're really going to bomb over 2 in the consolation game. Sweden, Australia, bomb that. As far as the final itself, Spain and England, which will also be at, who knows, 4 in the morning. Get your cocaine ready if you want to stay up for that. That's a tight game. Spain to win it, it's minus 115. England's minus 105, so it's basically a coin flip. They're both like plus 170, 180 to win in regulation. Over-under's 2. This one will be more of a tight. This one I can definitely see going under. But I like the draw at plus 200. There's been so many draws in this. Let's bomb that. Spain and England plus 200 draw. Take a risk at that. You don't have to care who wins. Little lady draw, little lady tie. They're very considerate. And Barner says the NIT is a consolation tournament. That it is. But it used. They love reminding you how it used to be the great tournament. In 1945 when Bob Cousy won, it was the tournament to be. Yeah, we know it's not anymore. Now we let in 200 schools to the other one. So yeah, Australia and the over we love a lot, and then we'll take a draw for that Spain, England, maybe sprinkle on the under as well. Real quick, I'll give out a couple golf bombs too, only because that just keeps making UC generates money. It is the BMW, and then I'll get into man in the box. But I have to give out quick things for BMW bombs. Where there's only 2 tournaments left. This one's in Olympia Fields in Chicago. Let me see. Where is my notes for it? Let me find. No, it's right in front of me. I'm an idiot. Olympia Fields in Chicago, 50-man, no cut. This is going to be tougher than the other ones. It's not going to be like a minus 20. A couple years ago, I think like minus 2 won it, and like plus 4 was like top 10. So it's a lot of. So there's only 50 people, no cut. So you're not going to find too many long shots. Rory McIlroy at plus 850 is not a bad play. I like him to win it. Look at that. I hate the number at 850, but you gotta like it. I'll give it up. Rory McIlroy real quick, plus 850. But I'll give you out 3 dogs, 3 long shots that can hit. So bet these guys and the top 10. All right. Real quick. And then we'll get to the man in the box and we'll get to have some fun. But now we got to do business here in the bottom line bombs as well. Can't just be a life's not a theme park, Can't just take the merry-go-round and it's not a Ferris wheel. Where's the Ferris wheel? Shout out to Henry Scott. We're going to go Beyond Hunan at 40-1. He bombed him. He's also plus 340 to win top 10. You have to be a good driver in this course. Long, and it's going to play slow too, which means you really got to bomb it. And he's actually a top 5 driver. You wouldn't suspect it, but he is. He's a top 5 driver. And he's great. So 41. Also, someone who's hot, JT Poston. He's at 70-1. You're not going to get too many of these at this tournament. 70-1. Bomb that. He's been hot. He's got 4 top 7s in his last 6. So also get the, let me see what his top 10 is real quick. me take a look. Gotta get these future downs here. JT posting. Let's see. Top 10. BMW Championship. This is good radio as you hear me literally scroll through. Who did I say? Oh, yeah, JT posted. Byung Kim already dropped to 325. Probably that Vegas is live to the bottom line bombs. They're moving numbers. JT posting is plus 450. Top 10. I'm gonna start releasing my bombs here, Patreon style, directly to you, like Right Angle Sports, because the numbers are too hot. The other one is gonna go Emiliano Grillo, who's good course fit. He's at 90-1. Bomb it. He's also plus 450 for top 10. Bomb that, which is a pretty low number for what for a long shot is. But it is what it is. Can't believe Vegas is so dialed into my bombs. Unbelievable. With that being said, those are my golf bombs. 3 long shots and Rory McIlroy to win is my favorite. Good luck with that. World Cup bombs, a consolation match I love is my favorite one. Is the over. Favorite thing to play is the consolation games. And there's nothing like not lady apathy. You know, they'll be very nice to each other. As far as the actual World Cup, I hope Spain wins or England wins. I don't care who wins it. Or hot England. Hear them. I have arm tattoos. Anyway, let's get to the box. Here's my Missouri hat. Welcome to the Man in the Box. I am CJ Sullivan. What I was going to talk about, oh man, there's so many things to talk about. I already talked about the TikTok comments up top. That I'm about to disable. I'm going to disable. I've come to the decision. I'm going to disable the comments just for that video about the song, the rich guys north of Richmond, because I know the audience would, and they just attack and it's just ridiculous. There's no good comments, which is odd because it's about freedom. That was funny when Sage Steele for ESPN, she resigned yesterday after she won her court case settlement. Her statement was like, I'm going to move on from ESPN where I could better practice my First Amendment rights. She got on her high horse with that. She's a conservative. Sage Steele. And whatever. I don't hate Sage Steele like some people do, but I do like what he said. I want to exercise my First Amendment rights. Who's stopping you from being a First Amendment? Although I will say this. People also go nuts on that the other way. People are like, they don't get what First Amendment is. Freedom of speech just means you won't go to jail. You won't get arrested. That's what's freedom. Having consequences for your job is different. Really? Okay. Well, you have different definitions of freedom then. If you think you should be terrified to say an unpopular opinion. Now, I'm saying an unpopular opinion, not something that's like hateful, obviously. That you can't do that because you're in create a bad work environment. But like just an unpopular opinion, if you have to hide your opinion and say it in privacy of your home or you'll get fired and ostracized, that's not exactly freedom. And that defense of, well, in other countries you go to jail. That's what freedom of speech is. Oh, is that what you're comparing it to now? What it is in other third world countries? Because that's the argument misogynists use with women. We're like, oh, these American women should be happy they get paid what they do. In other countries, you get stoned for showing an ankle. Great. Is that what we're comparing ourselves to? I'm just saying. As I say, both sides are terrible people. You know how, what did Trump say? Both people have good sides. Both sides are awful. And here's me in the middle, the man in the box. But I don't want to get into freedom of speech. But that's what happens when I am the man in the box. I don't relegate myself. Sage, come on over here. It's just me. It's just me in a can. Speaking in a can. I'm a cross between Jim Rome and Alex Jones over here. Talking talked about Hard Knocks up top. Johnny Football. I finally watched that. The Netflix show, the Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel, Untold, the series Untold. If you watch it, yeah, it wasn't. A lot of it has been told before. Actually, there was nothing left untold. I mean, it was good if you want to see highlights of Johnny Football, do coke and oxy and fucking high school and be great in high school and college, and just sensationalized him a bit. It didn't really dig deep, which it was okay actually. I didn't mind it, like because it still has the NCAA as an enemy, which I like. Fuck, but yeah, I mean Johnny Manziel, you fucked things up. He kind of does in a minute. It's weird. There's some things that seemed very interesting, and then I just let it go. He was like, "Yeah, after I got cut, I was gonna use all my money, and I was just gonna party and drink myself to death, and then I was gonna kill myself. And I bought the gun, and it was like a .38 revolver, and it jammed. What? Okay, let's hear about that." Then they're like, "Nah, let's move on to here he is beating Alabama again. What? Go back to the fucking." Go back to the thing where his gun jammed, where he tried to kill himself. That seems like an interesting story. Nah, let's talk about his oxy. They didn't even talk about him going to Canada. Coke and oxy a little bit. But the NCAA was the enemy because they showed how much he made. He made all this money signing autographs illegally. He get paid cash, and then when the NCAA came down on him for it, he got around it by saying he just comes from a rich family. I come from oil money. That's how I get these tickets. And then, so they're like, okay, but we still got to get you for something. So they suspended him a half of a game for failure to prevent the capitalization of the capitalization of his name, the monetization of his name. What? You mean what you do at NCAA? The NCAA, you're suspending me for not stopping you from selling my jerseys? Yeah, that's right. You should have stepped up and say, "Hey, I don't agree with this." We wouldn't have done anything, but at least we would have known you were against it. Now we know you're for it. So, Chad Briggs, welcome to the show. Make sure to like and subscribe to YouTube. He wants to know if I talked about James Harden yet. Respectfully, could you do it all over again? I have not, but I'll get into it. Right now, I'm talking about Johnny Manziel. Chad Briggs, you're from Texas. You're a Texas man. You know what a legend he is. And they didn't even talk about the part where Jerry Jones wanted to draft him. Old drunk Jerry Scotch Jones. And the Suns were like, "Okay, Dad, we'll take Johnny. Write it down on this little piece of paper, Dad." And they did. He wrote down Johnny Manziel on a piece of paper. "All right, we'll take that. We'll make sure we give that right to the commissioner." And they just threw it in a trash can and drafted a lineman like they should have. But why? I mean, and he's not sober now. That's the thing. They show all this partying he does. Like, oh, okay, he must have recovered at the end. And he didn't. He's still drinking. At the end, he's drinking a beer and smoking a joint, but they don't even talk about it. His sister just comes on like, "Yeah, he's still not well." We'll fucking talk about it. I want to see what he's doing now. And he's opening up a bar. That should go well. He's opening up a bar at College Station in rural Texas around all the people that still worship him. Yeah, just milk that dry. Milk that dry, Johnny. But anything that makes the NCAA look bad, I'm all for, because they made so much money off of him. I get it. But good Lord. How about that with Jim Harbaugh recently? The Jim Harbaugh suspension. They've taken that away because it's going to be under court order or whatever. Come on. I mean, just like, and the NCAA made a statement about it. Like, it's not about cheeseburgers. People are saying it's about cheeseburgers. First of all, the NCAA never says anything. Good Lord. About like a case that's still in trial. But we just all agree Jim Harbaugh's an asshole. How bad of a federation you got to be to make Jim Harbaugh look like the hero, to make him look good? That's how much we hate the NCAA. Petrovka says you got to get bar rescue there before it opens. Him yelling at Johnny Football. I love documentaries where the subject is obviously the producer of it. So you're not going to hear anything of fucking merit. It's just him in a chair. Then, they do the fucking, the slate. They do the slate. He looks around. Whoa, I guess we're really doing this, huh? In an empty room. Why? It's always a fucking like empty room and a single chair in the middle of it. They do the slate. Oh boy, this is it. We're really gonna. I guess this is happening. Okay, what do you want to know? Did I like the nickname Johnny Football? You're goddamn right, I did. Nobody asked you this, Johnny. What? Who are you talking to? Did I have a great time? I sure did. Again, Johnny, no one is asking you these questions. I just wanted to make sure that I have full out of control and all that. But can you believe this is happening? Chad Briggs. I love Chad Briggs. I didn't get into James Harden respectfully. Maybe I'll get into next week. That's hilarious. James Harden. So funny. Where was he? China? Or Japan? China? Where he's like, he's calling Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey's a liar. I hate that. I'm going to sabotage. And he'll sabotage the Sixers. He'll sabotage Camp. He's kind of a James Harden. They should hire James Harden. He's like a grenade. Like he'll jump on a grenade for you. You need a team blown up. I'm the grenade jumper. I'll jump on that grenade and I'll blow up your team from the inside. If you want to start over, you get James Harden out there. He gains and loses 50 pounds in a week. All right. I'll become fat and fucking not give a shit. And I'll destroy. I am a morale destroyer. The Sixers signed Patrick Beverley just as a guy who can talk to James Harden. We just need someone who can talk to him. So that'll be fun. Why wouldn't you want to fucking trade him? I mean, that's what I do like about James Harden. He's like, oh, you want to keep me? I'll show you. I'll show you how badly you don't want to keep me on your team. I'm a terrible teammate. I do nothing that's good. That game for Sacramento, who's just giving the ball to the other team. I gotta love that. Get rid of me. No, we want to keep you. No, you don't. Trust me. You do not want to keep me. Not when I'm in Operation Sabotage. Now would be a perfect time to play a Beastie Boy Sabotage clip, but instead I play this song. That actually made sense since we were talking NBA, but I was talking Netflix Johnny Football. Anyway, that's going to do it for the Man in the Box. I'm sorry if you guys did join late, but please, but I do appreciate you guys coming. Like and subscribe on the YouTube button. I got to get that thing going. Although we're over 100 subscribers, we started out from scratch. If you're listening to the podcast on Spotify's or wherever it is, wherever pods are told, leave a 5-star review or a good review or a bad review. I'd rather have a bad review and 5 stars than a good review and 1 star. Some people love to get those things confused. They leave like, great show. Couldn't recommend it enough. 1 star, which I get. It's confusing. Thank you for the effort. I'd rather give the 5 stars than a terrible review. Actually, that's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask all my listeners to give a 5-star review and the worst 5 stars and the worst review possible. Not possible, make it funny, whatever you want to do. I'll read those on the air and I'll pick from some of the best, worst reviews I can get. Roast me in the chat, as they say. Roast me in the comments. Go ahead and roast me in the box. I don't care. Just engage. Get the algorithm going. You know what? I might give out a prize for the best, worst review. That's what I'm going to do. People like, we have the thing. I'll give out a Man in a Box shirt. How about that? You get a Man in a Box shirt, merchandise for the best, worst review. I'll send it to you for free. Make sure you subscribe and all of that. Other than that, subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs and all the other stuff on the format, the Patreon, all those things. Like I said, so it'll be a long weekend going to Vegas this weekend. So I'll have a good report for that when I come back Monday. Should be exciting. Staying downtown. I don't even dare go to the strip anymore. It is not for us. It's not for the common man, you know? 000 roulettes. I didn't want to get into it. It's amazing. Thank you, Brian Petrov. He says that character is low-key good feedback so far on it. Any feedback so far on it? People love it. I'll give a shout out to the proper artist from Comedy Gazelle. I forget his name. I will give credit out to him. But yeah, it is a great character. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Bottom Line Bombs. Follow me on all the Instagrams and Twitters and all that shit, and especially on the YouTube. Get more Man in the Box videos. And yeah, that's going to do it.